Dynamax presents a step-by-step guide to the Firefly Multiplex system. In this video, we will cover the various functions of the Firefly touchscreen panel, the VegaTouch Mira smartphone app, and the Firefly smart switch panels located in the motorhome. The Firefly touchscreen panel, the navigation bar. Along the left of the Firefly touchscreen panel, you will find the navigation bar, which allows you to easily navigate the various functions for the Firefly system. From top to bottom, you have the home page, electrical page, lighting page, climate control page, slides and awning page, and settings page. The Firefly touchscreen panel, the home page. When you press on the home icon, your home page will appear. This page is split up into 4 quadrants. In the upper left quadrant, you will find some key interior lighting functions: living room, kitchen overhead, and bed overhead. The various light circuits are dimmable. Note the vertical toggle arrows to the right of each respective light bulb. So, for instance, if you'd like to dim the lights in the living room, press and hold the living room light bulb. The lights will begin to dim, then release at the desired light intensity. Then, if you want to brighten the living room lights back up, press and hold the light bulb again and the lights will begin to brighten, then release at the desired light intensity. Master lights. These on-off switches will control all lighting in the coach. It's important to note that when you have various lighting areas in the motorhome dimmed, the easiest way to bring all lights back up to full intensity is to press and hold the master light on button for 1 second. Also, let's go back to the scenario when you have the various lighting areas in the motorhome dimmed. If you press the master light off button, the system will store those dim settings for the next time you turn the lights back on. The lower left quadrant displays the current climate control temperature statuses. Tank compartment, which is only applicable with the Explorer package on the Isata 5 series. Rear of the motorhome, front of the motorhome, and exterior temperature. It is important to note that this quadrant displays status only. You will need to go to the climate control page to actually adjust desired temperature settings. In the upper right quadrant, you will find tank level readings for your fresh, gray, and black tanks, which feature the True Tank Level system. This system uses sonic technology to accurately pinpoint the levels in the various tanks in 5% increments, giving you a much more accurate reading versus traditional tank level monitors that only read out as full, 2/3, 1/3, or empty. For a closer look at how the True Tank Level monitoring system works, we encourage you to watch the True Tank video found on our Dynamax website. At this point, it's time for a troubleshooting tip. A blue line will appear under a tank level reading to indicate that the tank level status is not valid. It is important to note that the True Tank sensor measures the water surface. So let's say you power cycle the system while the tanks are empty. The sensor will not be able to find any memory of the last known level, and so the blue line will appear. In this instance, the gray and black will default to full, while the fresh will default to empty. To clear the invalid reading and get rid of the blue line, all you need to do is get 1 inch of water over the sensor and the system will correct itself. Conversely, let's say your tanks are 100% full and you cut power to the sensor. When the sensor comes back on, the blue line will also appear to warn you of an invalid reading. This is because the sensor cannot find the surface of the water, since the surface is all the way at the top of the tank. So it would default to those same readings. The gray and the black will default to full, while the fresh will default to empty. In this instance, the blue line will disappear once the sensor learns a new reading, i.e. when the tank's surface level changes. Those default levels that appear with the blue line are designed to help ensure that the customer does not think he has room to fill dirty tanks when maybe he doesn't, while also ensuring that the customer does not think he has fresh water when he may not. The upper right quadrant also displays your LP tank level, which will read as either full, which is 75% to 100%, half, which is 25% to 75%, or low, which is less than 25%. The last item in that upper right quadrant is your onboard water pump. When you press the button, it will turn blue to indicate that the water pump is now on. Lastly, in the lower right quadrant, you will find a digital display of your current house and chassis battery voltage levels. Line 1 and line 2, which will display when the motorhome is either plugged into shore power or the generator is running. Line 1 will display volts, amps, and hertz on the line 1 circuit, which includes items such as the front AC and the inverter. Meanwhile, line 2 will display volts, amps, and hertz on the line 2 circuit, which includes items such as the rear AC. AC power source, which will display either as no shore, shore, or generator. AGS Auto Gen Start status display, which will display whether AGS is enabled or disabled. Please note that AGS will default to disabled every time the chassis key cycles. You must re-enable the AGS settings after every chassis key cycle. This is to prevent accidental generator start. Inverter status display, which will display whether the inverter is enabled or disabled. And charger status display, which will display the current mode of the charge, namely no charge, absorb mode, or float mode. The Firefly touchscreen panel, the electric page. When you press on the lightning bolt icon, your electric page will appear. This page is split up into 3 sections. In the left section, you will find stated power source, which will display either as no shore auto, shore, or generator. Line 1 and line 2. This is the same information as displayed on the home page. When on shore power or running the generator, an arrow will appear from line 1 and line 2 to the transfer switch, and then over to the breaker box, to the inverter charger, then up to the house battery. Generator start stop, AGS Auto Gen Start, enable or disable. The last item in this section is AGS Settings. When you press this button, the AGS Settings subpage will appear. In the top left, you will find the AGS Enable Disable button. Underneath, you will be able to set 2 different triggers, low volts and/or HVAC load. The following settings will be programmable for the low volts trigger. Quiet time, start, stop, i.e. determining those hours when the system will not allow the generator to start. Low voltage generator start. Set battery voltage at which the generator will start. Typically, it is recommended to start this trigger at 12.1 volts or 12.2 volts. For lithium batteries, we recommend starting the trigger at 12.8 volts. Low voltage timing setting. Set how many minutes battery voltage needs to be continuously at the low voltage threshold before the generator will start. Full voltage generator stop setting. At what voltage do you want the generator to stop? Typically, it is recommended to set the stop trigger at 14.2 volts for AGM and 14.4 volts for lithium. Full voltage timing settings. Set how many minutes battery voltage needs to be continuously at that upper threshold before the generator will stop. Set minimum generator runtime. Upon the Auto Gen Start function being activated. This can be set as low as 10 minutes and as high as 30 minutes. Set maximum generator runtime. Upon the Auto Gen Start function being activated. This can be set as low as 120 minutes and as high as 720 minutes. Set generator retries. Number of times the generator will retry to start, and you can go up to 5 times. The following settings will be programmable for the HVAC load trigger. When you press on the HVAC load trigger, a warning will appear, which notifies you that the HVAC trigger will start the generator if AGS is enabled and an HVAC load is set to run. Do not use the HVAC trigger if plugged into shore power. Then it will ask you to confirm that you wish to enable the HVAC trigger to designate the desired temperature at which you want the generator to start. You will go to the climate control settings page on the touchscreen and set your desired temperature. Now, let's back out of the AGS settings subpage by pressing the electrical icon on the navigation bar. Now that we're back in the electrical page, let's discuss the middle section, where you will find the display for the energy management system. Your emergency management system, EMS, will automatically shed a load to keep you under the amperage threshold. If any loads are turned off, you will see it here. It is most commonly used in situations where you are plugged into 30 amp service rather than 50 amp. It will likely not be needed when plugged into 50 amp service, since it's highly unlikely you will ever exceed the 50 amp threshold. So, when plugged into 30 amp service, once the motorhome's used amperage exceeds the 30 amp threshold, the EMS will automatically shed one or both of the ACs to get back below the maximum amperage threshold. EMS line 1 is for the front AC and its heat pump or heat strip, whichever is equipped. EMS line 2 is for the rear AC. So, if exceeding the amperage, the first item that will be shed is the rear AC, then the front heat pump or heat strip, then finally the front AC. In the far right section, you will find a digital display of your current house and chassis battery voltage levels, Inverter charger, a digital display of current amps and charge rate. Inverter, to disable or enable according to the program settings. When enabled, it'll show an arrow line from the house battery to the inverter charger, then left to the breaker box. And charger mode, no charge, float, absorb, or disabled. The last item in this section is Inverter Charger Settings, IC Settings. When you press this button, the Inverter Charger Settings subpage will appear. In the left column, you will find the inverter charger status, voltage, current, etc., faults listed, if any, and firmware description. Then to the right, you will find adjustable settings, low battery cutout. This is the point at which the inverter will cut out. For AGMs, we recommend setting this at 11.5 volts, and for lithium batteries, we recommend 12.8 volts. VAC dropout, VAC level at which the inverter will switch to standby mode and charge will be cut off to protect AC loads during utility outages. We recommend setting this at 100. Shore breaker size, max setting is 30 amp because it'll only come into play if you are using 30 amps or below. Absorption time, higher charge rate when recognizing low battery voltage. We recommend setting this at 1.5 hours. Max charge rate, we recommend 100%. Set battery amp hours. This should be set to match your motorhome's specific battery rating. For instance, on the iSATA 5 series, the factory installed AGM batteries are 200 amp hours. The standalone option for lithium batteries is also 200 amp hours, and the Explorer package's lithium battery bank is 400 amp hours. Set battery type. If AGM, then set to AGM2. If lithium, then set to either lithium, if available, or custom, if lithium is not available. In custom, 3 additional adjustable settings will appear. Absorb, we recommend setting that at 14.6 volts. Float, we recommend setting that at 13.8 volts. And equalize, this is irrelevant, so just keep it set at 14.6 volts. Please be advised, like all software, we are continually adding features and working to improve overall system reliability. As such, we will continue to create and offer updated versions of the software when practical. The Firefly touchscreen panel, the lighting page. When you press on the light bulb icon, your lighting page will appear. At the top of the screen, you will find the master light on-off switches, which control all the lights in the motorhome. To the left, you will find the exterior lights, porch, which includes both the porch light and the entry grab handle light, awning light, cargo bay lights, and driver's side security light, which is above the sewer bay in the rear for the iSATA 5 series. To the right, you will find the interior lights. The vertical up-down toggle arrows next to the individual light buttons signify that those lights are dimmable. In order to dim the lights, you'll press and hold that button and the lights will begin to dim lower and lower. To bring the light back up to higher intensity, again press and hold that button and the lights will brighten. Just release the button at desired intensity. Once again, it is important to note that holding down the master light on button for 1 second will bring all the lighting areas back up to full intensity. The Firefly touchscreen panel, the climate control page. When you press on the thermometer icon, your climate control page will appear. This page is split up into 3 sections. The tank compartment section is only applicable with Explorer package on the iSATA 5 series. It is for the exterior sewer bay compartment and adjacent compartment on the passenger side, which is where the black and gray tanks are housed. This section will display current temperature on the right and desired temperature toggle on the left. Press the up and down arrows to set your desired temperature. The heat button is for the Explorer package's 12-volt ceramic auxiliary heater found in the sewer bay. Press the heat button to turn this auxiliary heater on. When on, the heat button will turn blue. Please note that the purpose of this auxiliary heater is only as a backup heat source in cold temperatures, when the exterior compartment may cool quicker than the interior of the motorhome. The interior furnace is still the primary heat source to prevent frozen water lines. The middle section is for the rear of the motorhome. It'll display current temperature on right and desired temperature toggle on the left. The cool button allows you to turn on or off the rear air conditioner. When the cool button is engaged, the 3 settings of high, low, and auto are available. Auto mode will automatically engage the AC to maintain the desired temperature. The heat button allows you to turn on or off the rear air conditioner's heat element, either a strip or a pump, whichever is equipped. The auto button under cool and heat is connected to your air conditioner and its heat element, which will use both automatically in order to maintain the desired temperature. The far right section is for the front of the motorhome. This section will feature the same functionality as found for the rear of the coach, but instead controls the front AC, its heat element, and also the furnace. As such, when engaged, the auto button under the cool, heat, and furnace button will use all three sources automatically in order to maintain the designated desired temperature. The Firefly touchscreen panel, the slides and awning page. When you press on the slides and awning icon, an initial caution page will appear, advising you that the park brake must be set and a power source of either shore, generator, or engine running is required to operate the slides, and, if leveling, then the start-stop button needs to be in accessory mode and the park brake will need to be set. After you press the confirm button, you will see a digital display of your floor plan. In the upper left, you will find buttons to extend or retract the slide rooms. In the upper right, you will find the buttons to extend or retract the awning. Press and hold for a second to fully extend or retract. Please note that if the park brake is not engaged, there will be a yellow warning at the bottom right of the page directing you to apply park brake to unlock the slide awning extension functionality. Lastly, the controls for your 4-point automatic leveling jacks can be accessed via the leveling button in the lower left of the page. When you press this button, the leveling subpage will appear. Please be advised that some models may not have the leveling jack controls on the touchscreen panel. In that case, you will use the separate control panel to operate the leveling jacks. On this subpage, you will find controls to auto level or auto retract, with manual manipulation arrows to the right. Status notifications will be displayed at the bottom left: operating, low voltage, excessive slope, ignition on, or engage park brake. The Firefly touchscreen panel, the settings page. When you press on the settings icon, your settings page will appear. In the left column, you will find the mobile app. We will go over this function later on in the video and show how to connect your Firefly system to the VegaTouch Mira smartphone app. Cleaning mode. Press the button and the screen will freeze for 15 seconds, allowing you time to clean the screen. Wireless switches. Press the button and it will display the battery life of any wireless switches in the coach, such as the bedroom switch plate and sewer-based switch plates if applicable. Network diagnostics. Temperature set. You can choose either Fahrenheit or Celsius. And floor plan designation. Press and hold for 2 seconds to see available options for this floor plan. This will be used for troubleshooting purposes only. In the right column, you will find screen settings for brightness, screen colors, and auto dimming. For auto dimming, when engaged, the touchscreen will go black after 60 seconds of inactivity. If not engaged, the screen will stay on for 4 hours after inactivity during the day and 15 minutes at night. You can also set time of day at the bottom of this column. The bottom of the page displays the GUI, Graphical User Interface, version for the Firefly software. For updates to your Firefly system, contact Firefly Integrations Customer Service directly at 574-825-4600. They will identify the update needed specifically for your motorhome and send you the update via a USB flash drive that connects to the back of the touchscreen panel, and then you will follow instructions on the front of the touchscreen panel to upload the update. Then you will cycle the house battery disconnect to finalize that update. Smartphone app control for your Firefly Multiplex system. The VegaTouch Mira smartphone app allows you to control most aspects of your Firefly system from the palm of your hand. First, go to the Firefly touchscreen setting page and press the mobile app button. Then pull out your smartphone and turn on your smartphone's Bluetooth control. Then go to your app store and search VegaTouch Mira. Download and open the app. When in the app, press the Scan button. After the app is done scanning, it'll identify your Firefly system and list its Mira ID. Tap on the Mira ID in the app. Now it'll ask you for the unit's authentication code, which is found below the Mira ID on your touchscreen, labeled as the Mira PIN. Enter that Mira PIN and press the Authenticate button in the app. Then it'll ask you to change your PIN. Enter in a personalized PIN. Press Set PIN, and then the app will install the update based on your personalized PIN. Once connected, you'll find the same controls found on the Firefly touchscreen are now available through this smartphone app. The navigation panel will be along the bottom, including the icons for the home screen, lighting, climate control, and slide awnings. All functionality through the smartphone app will be just like that on the touchscreen. The one caveat to note is, while you can turn on and off the AGS and its triggers, the actual quiet time and voltage settings can only be done from the main touchscreen panel. The smart switch panels for your Firefly Multiplex system. The Firefly system features one wired smart switch panel at the coach entry, plus one or more wireless panels at other locations in the motorhome. First, let's discuss the wired smart switch panel found at the coach entry. On this panel, you will find controls for the following: various light circuits, including the porch lights, which includes the porch light and the exterior grab entry handle, exterior cargo bay lights, living room lights. Note the vertical toggle arrows to the right of the light bulb, which signifies that this circuit is dimmable. Press and hold this button, and the living room lights will begin to dim. Release at desired intensity. Press and hold again to increase the lighting intensity. And the awning light, which is also dimmable. The master light on and off buttons to the right will control all lighting in the coach, and operates just like those found on the Firefly touchscreen panel. When you have various lighting areas in the motorhome dimmed, the easiest way to bring all lights back up to full intensity is to press and hold the master light on button for 1 second. Also, when you have the various lighting areas in the motorhome dimmed at different settings, if you press the master light off button, the system will store those dimmed settings for the next time you turn the lights back on. On this panel, you will also find buttons to extend and retract the awning. Press and hold for a second to fully extend or fully retract the awning. To the far right, you will find the toggle switches for the entry step lock and the master battery disconnect. Okay, let's now discuss the wireless smart switch panels. Depending on your specific brand and floor plan, you will have one or more of these wireless switch panels at different locations. Please note that additional wireless panels cannot be purchased. We recommend using the smartphone app control. Let's take a look at the wireless switch panel found at the bedroom. Since it is wireless, you are able to relocate this smart switch panel to a place of your choosing. To remove this switch panel, it's as simple as snapping off the switch's faceplate and removing 4 screws, then remounting the mounting bracket at a location of your choosing. Please note that a digital readout of the battery status for this wireless switch can be found at the settings page of your Firefly touchscreen panel. On this specific switch panel, you will find controls for the bedroom ceiling lights, the bathroom lights, the hall lights, and the overhead bedroom lights, all which are dimmable, generators start and stop, and the master lights. Depending on your specific brand and floor plan, your motorhome may also be equipped with a wireless switch panel inside the exterior sewer bay compartment. Just as with the interior bedroom wireless switch panel, a digital readout of the battery status of this panel can be found on the settings page of your Firefly touchscreen panel. On this switch panel, you will find controls for the exterior cargo bay lights, the porch light, the awning light, which is dimmable, the exterior driver's side security light located above the sewer bay, the sewer bay compartment heater, which is only applicable for the Explorer package on the Asada 5 series, the water pump, and generator start and stop. This concludes our step-by-step guide to the Firefly Multiplex system. For other helpful videos, please subscribe to the Dynamax and Forest River Motorized YouTube pages.